Yeah, for sure. So, really important question. The gold equity space has been a little bit dull. I think there's going to be a lot more investor interest coming into the space right now. Where are those dollars going to go? They are going to go preferentially to tier one jurisdictions, and Canada is undeniably one of those. So, the fact that the dollars go there means that Canadian projects get a higher multiple on their valuation. So, that's just a higher return for investors that I think inflow of investor interest is going to make that show up for us increasingly. Now, why do we get that premium? Well, it's because there's rule of law, there's consistent permitting. It may not be fast. It doesn't mean it's going to happen for sure, but at least the rules are consistent. There's currency stability, so you're not tripping up on those, tripping up on currency issues. These stability factors are really important. They're important to the investors, and they're also important to the major mining companies that are looking for new projects to buy. They want to manage their risk. They will spread out and invest in other countries for sure, but in a limited fashion. A lot of them want their bread and butter to be in tier one jurisdictions. So you have a higher likelihood of takeout for your project, which at the end of the day is the best exit strategy. You have a lot more stability in all kinds of things, including currency and permitting and rule of law. And that creates a higher valuation multiple for your asset. Oh, absolutely. I mean, the time frames to turn a discovery into a mine just keep getting longer and longer and longer. That length of time, I think, is a huge part of the reason why gold equities have struggled to attract investor attention over, increasingly over the last decades, because it's hard to have that kind of patience. Money is not patient. And so if you can find stocks to invest in that have somehow managed to shorten that time frame. So whether they've managed to already have permits, they're reviving a historic operation, whatever it might be, being close to production is a rarity in the gold space these days. It's truly a rarity. And I think the big M&A deal that we just saw with Cisco being taken out for $2 billion, phenomenal deal. What was that? That was a major mining company coming in to take out a asset that can be put into production, that is being put into production in this gold market. And the list of those assets, it's not very long. We've had a big bear market. It slowed a lot of projects down. They didn't get to that ready to be developed or under construction status. They just didn't get there. So there's hardly any on that list. So assets that are close to production are rare, and they're especially valuable because it just takes so long to get there. There's been over 30 million ounces of gold pulled out of the rocks of Red Lake. And this isn't an expansive region. This is a reasonably small area that just has a lot of high grade gold in the rocks. And so mining there started over 100 years ago. The Madsen mine that we're developing, mining there started in 1938. And it's been high grade gold that's been pulled out of the ground for now over 100 years. So that creates a bunch of things. It creates a lot of knowledge about how to find gold, how to mine gold in that area. It creates a lot of potential to find more. There's that classic saying in mining, where's the best place to look for a new gold deposit? In the shadow of a headframe, right? Look right beside where you already know that there was gold. And then it also creates this incredible workforce that lives in the area, that knows mining, that understands mining. The community is based in mining. So it creates potential for a lot of synergy. When we post job opportunities, we get a huge number of local applicants, which is great for everyone. So Red Lake is a phenomenal place to work, very supportive, very engaged with mining, and the rocks are, top notch. So the golden runway, like you say, this is this Lassonde curve, right? Value goes up with discovery, then value really falls off a cliff as you go through that long, long period of figuring out how much gold there is, exactly where it is, permitting it, engineering it, financing it. Then you get to, hopefully, for good projects, you get to, let's build this thing. We have a permit, let's go. So from construction decision to pouring gold, that is the period where the value of the asset goes back up. And it should, because you're going from spending money, which is what it takes to delineate and engineer and construct a gold mine, to hopefully making money because you're producing gold. In any sector, if you're increasing your output in a significant way, then you should be worth more. It doesn't matter whether you're making widgets or drugs or whatever it is. You should be worth more if you're producing more, if you've put in the capital investment. That's really what the golden runway is. You've put in the capital investment and the time, and now you're going to start producing gold in this case. And so the value of your stock should rise on that golden runway. And because we went through this crazy bear market where so many gold projects just stalled out, there aren't very many projects that have made it to that golden runway phase right now. It's a pretty short list. So yeah, West Red Lake is incredibly busy right now at the Madsen mine. The golden runway is a very busy time frame, right? Building a mine is a very complicated thing. Our path is a little bit simplified in one sense, which is that a huge number of the things that we need to turn this mine on already are in place. The mill is already built. The tailings dam is already built. The permits are already built. There's a huge amount of underground development, massive head start on our pathway to production. But we want to make sure that when we make a restart decision, we're doing that on a sound mine plan, on a mine plan where we know exactly where the gold is, how we're going to mine it, and that we have efficient plans for mining that material, moving it, processing it, and producing gold. We want to make sure those things are set up, because that's how you increase your odds of success when you turn on a mine. So we're doing all the work right now to underpin that efficient mine plan. And the next few months are going to be really busy with news. We're going to put out the official mine plan that lays out how much we're going to produce, how much it's going to cost, when it's going to turn on. We are working hard to access the final piece of capital, the last piece of funding, to get ourselves into commercial production. Assuming those things come together, then hopefully we are going to make that official decision to restart the mine. And the goal is to turn this mine back on in 2025.